Hello and welcome to this Python tutorial. It's quite a feeling to be in the last section of this course, this bonus section about XGBoost, and I have to say congratulations for reaching this last section of the course. That was quite a journey, and I hope that now you feel expert in machine learning and that you're very confident in this world and that you are about to work, or maybe you're already working, on some fascinating machine learning projects. And so you learned a lot of stuff, but it would be a shame to leave this course without having some introduction to one of the most popular algorithm in machine learning that is quite recently popular, but still it is definitely a very powerful model, especially if you work on large data sets. It will offer you very high performance while being fast to execute. And speaking of performance and execution speed, it is important to remind that XGBoost is the most powerful implementation of gradient boosting in terms of model performance and execution speed. Therefore, it's very important for you to have it in your toolkit. So let's implement XGBoost. This is only going to be an introduction, so we will make a simple implementation of XGBoost, but you will have the code template on your computer and you'll be able to try it on your problems, on your datasets, and you'll see that even with this simple implementation, it will definitely give you some excellent performance. So first thing to do is to install XGBoost and integrate it in Spider. So I've prepared for you this first line comment here, install XGBoost following the instructions on this link. So let's take this link, I'm going to select it, copy, and let's open a browser. Here it is, and let's paste the address and enter. Alright, so that's the installation guide for XGBoost. So basically it's very easy. You just need to open a terminal and follow the instructions by just copying pasting the different commands that this guide will tell you to enter. So I'm not going to do it on my terminal because this depends on the operating system you have. So whether you are on Linux, OS X or Windows, well, you just need to select the right link. So for example, I'm on OS X, so I just click on here. And so basically what I need to do is to follow the instructions. So I start by copying this, copy, then I open a terminal this way, here it is. I just paste it, then I press enter. I'm not going to do it because my XGBoost is already installed, but basically it's just to tell you that you just need to follow carefully the instructions and everything will be installed properly. I'm just telling you to read carefully because you don't have to copy paste everything, because one of the commands that are here are just some options. And the second thing that is important to mention is that only for the OS X users, you will need to execute this line here. And first that requires you to install Homebrew. So I'll show you how to install it right after that, very quickly. And once you enter this command, this might take 30 minutes. So just be prepared, it's totally normal. It will just configure your pre-installation of XGBoost, and indeed that takes quite a while. But that's worth doing it because, as I told you, XGBoost is an excellent algorithm to have in our toolkit. Alright, so just a quick explanation on how to install Homebrew. So basically, you just open a new tab, you just type here Homebrew this way, here you go, and then you just take the first link, Homebrew, the missing package manager for macOS. You click on it, and now you are on the Homebrew main page, and what you just need to do is take this whole line here, up to the double quotes, you copy it, then you open again your terminal, there you go, and then you just paste this line and you press enter, and this will install Homebrew. And then once you have Homebrew installed, then you can execute this line, brew install GCC without multilib. Alright, and then you just follow the instructions and everything will be fine. And so this first part here is the pre-installation of XGBoost, and then you have the Python package installation, that is that this part will install XGBoost on your machine, which will be then integrated to Anaconda. And here that's the same, you just need to take these different commands, enter them in the terminal, and this will progressively install XGBoost. And one last thing very important to mention, once you're done with all this installation process, well, make sure to quit Python, quit Spider, and restart Anaconda, because otherwise the installation won't be taken into account. So don't forget to do that, and normally everything should be fine. And of course, if you have any problem with the installation, don't hesitate to ask questions in the Q&A. I'll help you install it properly and fix any problem. And by the way, here you also have the R package installation, but we'll see that afterwards. Alright, so now let's go back to Spider. There you go. And so now what we're going to do is take one of the business problems we dealt with in this course. This is going to be actually the problem that we solved in the deep learning section. Remember, this is the churn modeling problem, where we need to predict the customers of the bank that will leave the bank. So this was a classification problem where we classify the customers in two classes, those who will leave the bank and those who will not leave the bank. And so remember, for this problem we obtained an accuracy of 86%, but that took quite a while because we trained an artificial neural network with many epochs, and therefore it took quite some time to execute. And so now in this section we're going to do the same. We're going to apply XGBoost on this churn modeling problem, and you're going to see that we will get the same accuracy because we cannot get a higher accuracy anyway, because the accuracy is limited by the problem itself, in the sense that there isn't 100% correlation between the informations of the customers and their decision to leave the bank, yes or no. So 86% is very close to the best accuracy we can obtain for this specific business problem. So we will probably get 86%, but this will execute in no time, like instantly. And besides, this dataset contains, if I remember, 13 features, but that's not a large dataset. And what is important to highlight is that even if this was a large dataset, a very large dataset, well, XGBoost would be one of the best models in terms of performance, that is, to get a good accuracy, and execution speed. So for example, if you are working with a large dataset, I strongly encourage you to test XGBoost. Alright, so what we're going to do now is take the pre-processing phase of this Python file. So there is only part 1 because part 2 is to implement the artificial neural network. And so we just want to pre-process the data for this churn modeling problem associated to this churn modeling CSV file. But actually, we're not going to take everything in this pre-processing phase. The reason is that for the artificial neural network, well, feature scaling was totally compulsory, no questions asked. Feature scaling must be applied for deep learning. But the good news is that for XGBoost, well, since XGBoost is a gradient boosting model with decision trees, well, accordingly, feature scaling is totally unnecessary. And that's one of the very good things about XGBoost, besides its high performance and its fast execution speed. It's that you can keep the interpretation of your problem, of your dataset, and of the results you'll get after building the model. So we can understand now why XGBoost is so popular. It's because it has these 3 qualities. First quality, high performance. Second quality, fast execution speed. And third quality, you can keep all the interpretation of your problem and your model. So definitely a model to have in your toolkit. Alright, so feature scaling is unnecessary here, and therefore we'll take everything from this code section, splitting the dataset into the training set and the test set, up to importing the libraries. Here we go, and we will paste it in our XGBoost file. Perfect. And now, in the next tutorial, we are going to implement XGBoost. So we will import the XGB classifier class, and then, as usual, we'll create an object of this class that is going to be the XGBoost classifier itself, and then we will fit this object to the training set. And then we will evaluate quickly the model performance by, predicting the results on the test set, and why not making a confusion matrix. And of course, let's apply then this relevant method for evaluating the model performance, that is k-fold cross-validation. And we will do it very quickly because we'll just need to copy-paste the code sections that we implemented in the previous tutorials inside these XGBoost Python file. And you'll see that we won't have anything to do. Everything will be very easy, and that's because the template can be used on any problem and any dataset. Alright, so we'll do all this in the next tutorial, and until then,